What's up, guys? AWPing CT side Dust2. We are going to talk about just the A site here today, since there is a lot to talk about on Dust2 when it comes to AWPing. So we're going to talk about just the A site here. So starting off, mastering the AWP, it's all about learning the angles that you're trying to peek, and really knowing when to stop or how your enemy is reacting to the angle that you're about to peek. And there's a Steam message for you guys. So starting off here, we're going to talk about long first, some aggressive moves that you can pull out, and we'll talk about holding long first. So a lot of the times the opera will, if they do come get a quick pick long A to shut it down real quick, a lot of the times they'll come close to this wall and looking backwards. Just because looking backwards, you're going to be juking flashes, and if you're closer to the wall, you have more of coverage like this. If you're back here, more flashes can possibly hit you. So a lot of times the opera will come close here and then switch at the last second and then just, duck peek like this. And that's just to get, hold down a long A rush if anyone's peeking real quick. And it's really good to know your angles. What I'm talking about is, where is the Dust2? Where is, that opening, so that when you're coming around this corner, you're instantly posting up on it and you're not exposing yourself too much like this. Or you're not having your crosshair here when you're peeking, but it's actually there. So that's really crucial on pre-firing the position you're setting up to hold. So, that's pretty simple. Just coming to the corner there, and pretty much just posting up there, not exposing yourself too much like this, and having your crosshair perfectly placed right away so that you don't have to do any adjustments if he peeks you. So that's always good to have. A really good technique is when peeking is exactly when you peek to duck. It just kind of throws off your enemy, kind of throws off your headshot level. So let's say if an AK was to come around the corner here, he's most likely going to have his crosshair up here, just because that's where someone's head's going to be. So if you peek for a split second with your head like this, and then as soon as you peek the corner you duck like that, he's going to have to readjust his aim from here to shoot you in the head, and within that split second, that should give you enough time to outpick him in case his reactions were still faster than yours. So it's always good. You see a lot of operas, whether they be peeking here, as soon as they peek, boom, they'll duck, and it just helps change up your hit boxes, and it makes you, I guess, tougher to hit for a CT posted up or even a T posted up. So that's just a little peeking tip there. Going back more into long A, you'll never really want an op into pit. Not a good idea there. And one good positional advantage that an opper can help set up with a teammate is either, getting behind this doors is always good, but getting behind these doors is really awesome for your rifler. And one of the things, you can do is once you set up here at long A, your rifle crosses to pit like this. And then, if it's pretty quiet here, you can have your opper creep up like this. So he's just going to kind of creep up, just zoomed in, make sure there's no one lurking in these doors, and he's going to just post up on this crack here. So he can quick peek it like that, duck on the peek, and then he's just going to post up on this door. And while he's posted up on this door, his teammate's just going to creep in, and then just get this positional advantage. If you can pull off this move here, it really helps the CTs hold the map, have a lot of map information, and kind of readjust the other 4 players on the map to stack the other weak points. So we have a name for this exact little technique. We call it, I don't even know why, but we call it the Sanchez. So anytime our team calls it the Sanchez, the opera at long A and the pit rifler will go, hey, we're gonna Sanchez long. Opera walks up here like this. He sets up, peeks door, holds it. His teammate rifler walks in, rifler gets set up here, and then it's good to stay here for a bit, because if he does take a pop shot or whatnot, it's really going to bait and set up for the rifler that is in there. So even if you don't get that bait shot or that bait set up, it's always good to stay here for 10 seconds or so, see if you can get that opening pick of the round, and then this opera has a lot more freedom to fall back and play a ramp or goose or something else to set up there. So that's pretty much all long A, guys. Getting a nice quick peek on the long here, juking flashes, doing the Sanchez out long. So going back into not playing long A. So let's say we're giving long A here. the team's been, had pretty good success holding long A, or your riflers want to play cat this round to switch it up. So a good spot to play long A from is honestly just right top plat right here, pretty much lined up. This is an okay spot. I'm not really that big of a fan of it because you will get caught if the team has good coordination, such as, teams will always pop flash this right before their op or peaks or something. So as soon as that flash happens, you're going to be blind behind that barrel, and he's going to have time from you running away, from you trying to escape while you're blind. So say, for example, boom, you're blind. You might get caught with your pants down as you're trying to run away blind. So I recommend just this angle right here. You can even, come right here if you want, off this angle. And if you ever get blind, you can just, fall back. There's no way they can kill you, and it's a lot safer. But, any spot up here at this angle is pretty good because you can, cover everyone going into pit and while still having good escapability. So that's pretty much it for opping top A. I wouldn't really recommend opping this because this gives you no information if they're in pit. If there's an opper in pit or someone in pit and you don't know they're in pit, they're going to have quite an easy shot on you if you don't have that information. You're really putting yourself at a disadvantage. So you'll want to actually spot this angle here because you'll want that information if they're in pit or not. So this angle here is a lot better than, a more passive angle like this watching pit because, you're just giving them too much ground, giving them too good of a position there. So going into playing cat with the op, and setting up your op kills here, guys. It's all about setting up your team with a 4v5 a kill advantage. So we're just like we talked about, pushing between these long DDs. That kind of helps your team get an opening pick if the terrorists are playing sloppy and want to pick you here. So we'll actually talk about getting aggressive on cat and opening up some picks for your team that way too. But before we go back to the cat play, we're kind of making our way up long here in top A site. So one of the most default spots to op on Dust2 is car right here. Just we call it between, between long A and A ramp. We call this car or between. And it's a really simple spot. You kind of just got to work your angles correctly. And a lot of times you'll post up like right here, opping this right here. And after you take a few pop shots, you might always want to have, or you always want to have a flash ready to counter flash because good teams are going to be chucking flashes over this site, and you're going to get blind yourself. It's really good to just have your flash key bound. So even if you're blind, you can you can take a blind shot if you want, tap your flash key, run away blind, and then possibly try resetting up. What's really good, or what's not good to do, is to expose yourself to too many enemies at once. So we have our 4 terrorists going across in normal positions that they could be at. So, one at the bricks, one crossing the catwalk, one coming to quad right there. So one thing you don't want to do is flash over and then peek close like this, because then you're gonna have as many people that are crossing cat are gonna be seeing you. So you're gonna die to this guy, this guy, this guy. And obviously that guy can't see you here, but let's say you just swung out even a little bit further. So all 4 players can kill you at once. And even if you hit a nuts shot, you're only going to get probably 1 kill if the terrorists are any good. So working your angles here is very important when it comes to opping this car. So starting off here, let's say we get blind. Boom, we get blind. As we scan back, you should be pretty much scanning this back. You should be putting your crosshair exactly next to the wall and just kind of scanning it. So you go, so only 1 terrorist can see you at a time. So when you're coming around here, it's just boom, you take that shot. And then usually after I take a shot, let's just say I miss him, or we kill him, just say pretend. So I'm coming around here, boom, I kill him. And usually after I take that shot, you don't keep peeking wild. You don't take that shot and then peek even further like this, because you won't be able to take that shot right away. So as soon as you take that first shot, boom, you kind of tuck in like this, just because the terrorist could be running across and run into where you are here. So you want to take that shot, tuck in for a split second, and then scan back and just try to find just one more enemy. So boom, tuck in, scan back, boom, tuck in, start scanning it back. So you're only facing 1 enemy at a time. That really is the key to staying alive here at car, is fighting 1 enemy at a time. And what's really good about the car here, and after watching ESL, Fifth Larian actually did a pretty good job at, staying alive. When you're at the car here, guys, you don't have to dedicate your life to holding cat. It's really good if you in the pit guy, let's say they have a really good A take, the AWPer keeps getting flashed here, he's not getting many picks. It's good to just give cat and then just hold long together. So you're just going to hold long together. Maybe your rifle comes up and just, gets a little bit aggro on the doors, and then your AWPer goes in pit, and then you can do an easy retake on A if this AWPer stays alive. One thing you don't have to do, and Fifth Larian did really good of not fighting too much. He took a few pop shots here and there, and then if he wasn't too successful in holding it down, you have to give cat. Staying alive is key, and he didn't really force himself to die in this position. So that's always, you have to keep in mind that you don't have to fight to your death in this position, which makes this a really good one as well.